Hey scholars, hope you're doing well. I really miss you. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you this week via Zoom. Please keep that up. I love seeing some of you, you know, every day and the more of you that I get to see every day, it just makes me so happy and I know that or I hope that you really enjoy that as well. So of course, this video is how to work through this first application problem. This is the application problem for April 20th. That's Monday's application problem. If you haven't tried it on your own yet, stop. Go try it on your own. You are smart. You are capable. You are able to do this. You do not need me to walk you through it step by step without first at least trying. Of course, if we were in the classroom, I would have you try on your own first. Ask yourselves questions like, can I draw a picture to show this? And I'm actually going to be doing a think aloud of that, right? Ask yourself what you know. Ask yourself, how could I solve this if this was a real life problem, if I had this in front of me? Um, and then also feel free to ask your friends. And then, of course, I don't want this to come off as, don't ask me, please do. I just want you to also remember that you can rely on yourselves and your brains because they are there for you and you should use them, okay? So let's start by reading this together, all right? And by start by, I mean start after you've already tried on your own. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, okay? So it says, Brandon's mom used 1/4 of a gallon of honey to bake 3 loaves of bread. If she used an equal amount of honey for each loaf, how much honey did she use for 1 loaf? So here I'm really going to think about, all right, let's pretend I have no idea what the heck is happening in this problem. All right, well, what do I know? Going back through and reading it again, I'm now going to underline what I know. I know that Brandon's mom used 1/4, that's in white, that makes it hard to see. 1/4 of a gallon of honey. I know that she used 1/4 of a gallon. Now I want to look here to say, does it say per loaf of bread or does it say for all the bread? And it says 1/4 of a gallon of honey to bake 3 loaves of bread. So that means that this 1/4 of a gallon, and I'm actually going to do this in another color, y'all know me by now, right? 1/4 of a gallon is going to be used in total. That's the total amount that we're using, and it's going to be split among these 3 loaves of bread. So if she used an equal amount of honey for each loaf, then the question that it wants me to figure out here is then how much honey did she use for just 1 loaf? And that's also another hint for me when it comes to if I was trying to figure out is this 1/4 of a gallon of honey per loaf or is it in total? Well, if it's asking me how much she used in 1 loaf per loaf, then it probably didn't say it earlier in the problem. All right, so let's get to work here. What is my total? My total is this 1/4 of a gallon of honey. And I am going to draw that out. Here is, let's say that this would be 1 gallon of honey. And I'm even going to write that this is 1 gallon, 1 g for gallon. And I didn't even use this whole amount. I didn't even use 1 gallon. What I used was 1/4 of that gallon, right? So that means that I need to split this into fourths. Otherwise, I'm not going to know what to work with. 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? Now I have, this is a fourth. This is a fourth. Nope, ignore that. This is a fourth, right? This is a fourth. And this is a fourth, right? And this is something that I've seen each and every one of you do in class. I know you can do this. So hopefully that you were able to trust yourself to do this up to this point, right? To know that 1/4 and 1/4 and 1/4 and 1/4, this is equal to 4/4, which is 1 whole gallon, right? But I'm not working with a whole gallon. I'm working with 1/4. So I'm only working with this, just this one, right? Because it says 1/4 of a gallon. And then it says that I used it to bake 3 loaves of bread, and I used, I'm going to go back to this color, if she used, in this case Brandon's mom, used an equal amount of honey for each loaf. So I started with this one here, and I used it equally. It says it in the problem, equally. So I know that I need to take this and I need to split it equally into 3 so that this piece here can be for 1 loaf of bread, this can be for my 2nd loaf of bread, and this here can be for my 3rd loaf of bread. And the question is then, well, how much honey did she use in 1 loaf? So what she used for 1 loaf is, see if I can get it. She used this for 1 loaf, right? This is what 1 loaf was. And if you have questions about that, come see me in office hours. I'm happy to explain how we knew that. But the question is, so how much did she use for 1 loaf? Well, this is 1 piece out of how many? And remember, when I'm dealing with fractions, they need to be equally split. So since I split this 1/4 into 3, I need to split each 4th into 3. So I'm going to do that really quickly, right? And now the question is, well, what is this 1 piece that she used? Well, it's 1 out of how many pieces? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's 1 out of 12 pieces. And this is the amount that was used for 1 loaf of bread. Now, how can I show this as an equation? Right? I like to show it as a picture because it shows my thinking, it shows my knowledge, and it helps me. If I didn't know how to do this, if I didn't know the equation, I can write and draw a picture. But what I do know as an equation is my total. Remember, in division, my total is this first number here, right? It's my dividend. So that was 1/4. And then what did I do? I divided it, or I broke it up into, I broke this 1/4 up into 3 equal parts. So here's my divisor, what I'm breaking it up into. And what I will get from that, when I divide 1/4 into 3, I will get 1 out of 12, because when I'm dividing, as I believe it was Danya pointed out, I can actually just multiply these two to get my denominator, and I can take the 1 and put it up here, and that will, remain my numerator. If you have questions about why that is, please come ask me. So anyway, here's how 2 different ways we can work to get our answer for this application problem. I look forward to seeing you later. I miss you. I love you. I hope you are staying safe. I hope you are staying happy, and I will see you as soon as I possibly can.